Hi, Jonathan. How are you? Father Jonathan.
I'm doing great, Taylor. Thank you. Let me just put you in context of where I'm sitting. And this is not to create envy for anyone, but I'm sitting in probably the most peaceful and romantic place on earth. That is Piazza Navona, which is right in the historic center of Rome, and a great way to end a beautiful day in which I was in St. Peter's Square with those 150,000 people who wanted to see Pope Benedict XVI on his last full day as Pope in a historic moment in which, after 600 years, Pope Benedict XVI is the first Pope to have resigned on his own will, believing that it's the best thing for the Church in these very difficult times in which communication flies so quickly into the hands of somebody who is of greater strength of mind and body.
Well, what was the atmosphere like with all the people? Were they sad to see him go? Were they joyful?
You know, it's a great question. My own sentiments were sad to see somebody who is like your spiritual father, right? Mm-hmm. Going through hard times. You can tell that he's obviously weak. He's 85 years old. He took on this responsibility at 78 years old, not wanting it, but being elected by his colleagues, by his fellow cardinals. And for the last 8 years, he has lived a schedule that no 20-year-old would ever want to live. And the fact that he has decided, as part of his own legacy, I believe, to step down, to give up power, to say, I am willing to change my life completely and to go and to live really as a monk. What he said in the great introduction that you gave, Taylor, and in those words that we heard from his own mouth were, I'm going to continue to serve the Church, but now it's going to be in prayer. And he's going to live basically in a monastery or a convent like monks do. He's not going to be giving any more public statements. He may continue to write and to be involved in that way, but he is going to live like a monk. Pretty amazing.
Well, it's pretty selfless and honorable because there's a lot of power that comes with that position of being Pope. So, and you know, as we discussed before, this hasn't been done in hundreds of years. So, good for him. Now, what happens? I mean, we haven't chose a new Pope yet. So, what happens next, Jonathan? Father Jonathan.
Pope Benedict tomorrow will fly out of the city of Rome by helicopter into a small town about 25 miles away from Rome. At that point, the College of Cardinals, the cardinals who have all gathered here in Rome, who are responsible now for electing a new pope, will gather together, and they will be responsible for the day-to-day running of the Church. Then on Monday, they will meet together in what are called congregations. In other words, big meetings, big executive meetings. And during those meetings, they will decide when the conclave will begin. The conclave is the time in which all the cardinals are put inside the Sistine Chapel and elect a pope. They'll decide when that will begin, probably 5 or 6 days after their first congregation, which begins Monday. And during these days of congregation, they'll talk about the pressing issues of the Church. They'll also get to know each other. They're going to be kind of checking each other out, talking to others about the others, who would be a good candidate to be pope.
Do you have any idea, any thoughts, maybe who the top maybe 5 contenders are?
I do know who the next pope will be, and I'm going to break it right here on your show, Taylor.
I would bless you. I would love that. Come on, don't you have?
I don't know, and really nobody does. There are certainly those who are cardinals who are more well known. We have Cardinal Scola, for example, in Milan. We have Cardinal Ravasi, who is an Italian, who's the head of a Department of Culture, and who just gave a retreat to the Pope and to the other cardinals. Those would be maybe front runners in the Italian bloc, but there's also those who say, you know what, it's not time for another Italian. There's been a lot of controversy in the management of the Vatican. We have that famous Butler Vati leaks story, and the Italians, who are the majority here in the Curia in Rome, are blamed for that, and I believe rightly so, at least some of them. And so I think there's also a thought that maybe this is the time for a pope from either North America or South America, Asia or Africa, and there are certainly leading candidates within all of those continents.
Well, it's very exciting times, very exciting times. Tell the viewers what time it is right now and how wonderful you are to call into Primetime.
Well, I must admit, I'm pretty happy after a long day, and I had a great pasta, great red wine, and it's been a blessed day, a historic day.
But what time is it? Like 10 o'clock at night or something? What is it?
It's midnight.
It's midnight. You're calling Primetime at midnight in Italy. You are amazing.
You forced me to.
Oh, don't tell the viewers that.
Well, it's true.
Okay, well, I hope that you could call in tomorrow to let us know what it's like and any new developments.
Okay,
it's so exciting.
Now you're pushing your luck.
Okay, well, I could at least ask. Remember, you don't get anything in life without asking, right?
Talking to you.
Okay, thank you so much. Get some rest now. Get some rest.